Hello, everyone, and welcome to our video interview on nurturing women leadership in IP in celebration of the World IP Day, the theme of which is Women in IP. My name is Namrata, and I'm going to use this opportunity to catch up on our managing partner, Mr. Ravi Bhola. Ravi, welcome, and thank you for taking out time for this.
Thank you so much, Namrata.
Ravi, you're a veteran in IP and managing and building winning teams over the years. I have personally worked with you for many years now. How do you think the IP industry has changed over the years?
So, Namrata, in my view, IP industry has changed significantly over a period of time, and I would say has grown exponentially in last 5, 6 years in particular. And that also means more and more people are getting into this IP ecosystem. And what I have seen closely is that in last few years, a lot of diversity has come in the workforce in IP. Um, Earlier on, we used to see very few women colleagues around, but clearly, as the awareness around IP has expanded, we've seen more and more women colleagues coming in, more diversity coming into the ecosystem, not only limiting to our firm, KNS, but as an industry as a whole. So I think it's a big positive shift that I have seen in last few years. And also interestingly, it's not limiting to only, let's say, only advisory work. I have seen significant participation by women colleagues in contentious areas, litigation, policy making, even in terms of judiciary. We see a lot of women judges in our court. So I think a very positive, significant shift in last few years.
Great. That's absolutely correct, Ravi. In fact, on a recent business trip, I was told by people that they were pleasantly surprised to see the number of women leaders in KNS.
Fantastic.
Talking about KNS, how does KNS promote women leadership within the firm? And what kind of strategies or initiatives you have found to be most effective in this regard?
So, Namrata, I know, as you know, in our firm, one of the key principles is that we run the organization and encourage and support talent, which means essentially a very meritocracy-based kind of environment is what we have tried to develop and nurture over a period of time. And I think it has really helped our firm in terms of being able to develop such a strong pool of women leaders. You are a great example of that environment as an organization collectively we've been able to build. And there are large number of women colleagues in our firm who have succeeded and done very well for themselves. But it's really important in terms of strategy, since you asked that how do you create an environment of mentorship. It's critical, and it's one of the components as a part of learning and development initiative that we undertake in our firm, which means that the firm has to be really conscious about investing time and effort to mentor youngsters so that they can really unleash their true potential and grow. And I have seen that women leadership has emerged organically from our organization by being able to provide that kind of environment. And the endeavor should be to continue to have the system where you can identify good talent and nurture that talent. So that's what we try to do, Namrita.
Thank you, Ravi. And in fact, as you mentioned that you're working actively in this domain, what do you feel is the impact of having more women leaders in the firm?
I would say, Namrita, very positive. I have seen that and we're very watched very closely that the the conversations become more holistic when you have that kind of diversity in the conversation, people coming in from different backgrounds, different experiences, and also, of course, women leadership coming in brings in a lot of diversity and makes the conversation more holistic. I have seen conversations being elevated to a certain level because of the diversity that comes in. And we are in the industry of ideation, right? And you have to appreciate good ideas, fresh perspectives. And I've seen that our firm, and I think generally an ecosystem is immensely benefited by the diversity that come in by having more women in the leadership roles.
Absolutely. That's great. Looking ahead, Ravi, what kind of challenges or developments do you think uh, is going to be upcoming in the field of IP with regards to women leadership?
So Namrata, I think the momentum that we've seen in last few years, I think we will be able to see more momentum around that shift in terms of greater participation by women and women gaining more leadership role. I expect, and historically, I've seen that, for example, domains like engineering, where it used to be more like men's passion. We've seen in areas in last few years where on software side particularly, a lot of women leadership has emerged in our firm and also in the ecosystem as a whole. The further shift I expect is that even in other domains, engineering domains like electronics, mechanical, I'm already seeing that shift where a lot of patent attorneys and IP attorneys in these technical domains, will emerge. So I'll see more women leadership, I expect, in those domains. As I said, while we've seen also emergence of litigators, women litigators who are doing exceedingly well, I expect that to further expand. We've seen that with the development of IP division. I've seen a lot of interest around judiciary to, expand that part of the practice. And I believe that a lot of practitioners may want to tomorrow shift and get into the judiciary role. So I expect more women leadership in the judiciary, greater influence in terms of even policy making. So as the government also expect greater collaboration with the private players and corporates, I expect a lot of IP practitioners of today shifting into policy making domain and working more closely with the government to see how, as an IP ecosystem can be further enhanced. So I see greater participation from women leadership in those verticals as well as we go forward. And one more thing, which I have also seen, and I expect that to further get built, is that even in the in-house roles, uh, I'm seeing that, a lot of positions around chief patent counsel, chief IP counsel in the in-house roles, there again, I'm seeing a shift where more and more women leaders are emerging. So I expect more of that going forward, and I think which will be absolutely fantastic for the ecosystem as a whole. Yeah.
Thank you, Ravi. There is a lot of talk on diversity and inclusion, on inclusion of women. As a male leader in this field, specifically in the field of IP, how do you see your role in advocating or the supporting the development of women leaders? And what advice would you give to other male leaders looking to do the same?
So I think it's a huge responsibility for male leaders to make sure that they are able to provide a fair environment, a merit-based environment. And once we are able to do some of those things, another element which I sometimes feel is that there could be a kind of a subconscious bias that men may have. There could be some kind of limiting beliefs that people may have towards a particular gender. So I think that kind of self-awareness is important. And I think making these points as a part of the conversation in the organization is so very important, so that we are able to really see the value in terms of diversity. And I'm glad that at our firm at KNS, we've been able to kind of embrace this thought and practice it in reality. So I think providing that kind of safe environment, providing an environment where you can experience work-life harmony, where you're able to value every aspect of your life. And her life means your not only professional life, but also your personal life. So how you can intertwine the two and make yourself a success and contribute to the success of the organization. So I think we as male leaders have to be consciously aware of all of this and practice it daily.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Ravi. I think it's something that is said that everyone knows it's important, but it's to be constantly reminded. So
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Namrata, and a very happy World IP Day to everyone.